Have you ever heard a sentence so powerful, so honest, that it didn't just inspire you, it redirected your entire life? Most people never experience that moment, but Jack Ma did. Long before Alibaba, long before anyone knew his name, long before he became one of the most influential entrepreneurs in the world, Jack Ma received a piece of advice that completely rewired his destiny. But before that advice came, you need to see what his life really looked like. Jack Ma wasn't the kind of person people expected to succeed. In fact, the world kept telling him he wasn't good enough. Rejected from primary school, rejected from middle school, rejected from college not once, not twice, but 3 times. Rejected from jobs 30 times. Even KFC didn't hire him. 24 people applied. 23 got selected. Only one person was told no, Jack Ma. Imagine standing there, watching everyone walk in except you. Most people would break. Most people would think, maybe I'm just not meant for anything big. But Jack didn't break. He was hurt, confused, disappointed, but something inside him stayed alive. Still, he had no direction, no mentor, no plan, no idea what to do next. Until one ordinary day, in an ordinary hotel lobby, something extraordinary happened. Jack was barely surviving as a translator in Hangzhou, earning almost nothing. But his love for English brought him face to face with a foreign tourist who needed translation for 2 days. They spent hours walking and talking, and one evening by the lake, that man asked Jack a question that hit deeper than every rejection Jack ever faced. Jack, what do you want to do with your life? Jack froze. He had no answer. He looked down and said, I don't know, but I want to do something meaningful. The man smiled softly, and then gave Jack Ma the advice that would follow him for the rest of his life. Jack, you think too small. You worry too much, and you're afraid to fail. The world does not reward fear. It rewards courage. Jack stayed silent. Then the man added, don't try to fit into the world. Prepare yourself to change the world. Jack shook his head slowly. How can I change the world? I'm nobody. The man replied, everyone who changes the world starts as nobody. And then came the sentence Jack never forgot. Don't chase money. Chase the skills that money follows. He didn't fully understand it, but he felt it. For the first time, someone believed in him without judging him, without laughing at him, without rejecting him. And sometimes, belief is the spark that awakens a sleeping giant inside your soul. That night, Jack wrote the stranger's words in his notebook. He didn't know why. They just felt important. He had no money, no connections, no support, no degree, just one stranger's belief, and a fire inside him that refused to die. Jack made a promise that night, a promise that would one day build Alibaba. If I cannot change the world, I will at least try. He didn't know how. He didn't know where to begin. But he shifted his mindset from, why me? Why not me? And everything started from that shift. A few weeks later, Jack began changing small things. He woke up earlier. He read more. He learned more. Then he did something almost nobody in China was doing at the time. He started studying the internet. People laughed at him. They said the internet was useless. They said Jack Ma was wasting his time. They said he was dreaming too big again. But Jack remembered, the world doesn't reward fear. It rewards courage. And he finally chose courage. Months later, Jack boarded an airplane for the first time in his life, heading to the United States as a simple translator, earning almost nothing. He had no idea that this trip would open a door not just for him, but for the future of an entire nation. In Seattle, Jack's friends showed him a small room filled with computers connected to something called the internet. Jack didn't even know what that word meant. They opened a web browser and asked him, what do you want to search? Jack thought for a moment and said, China. They typed it. Nothing came up. Not a website, not a picture, not a single word. Jack Ma froze. How is this possible? He whispered. The world knows nothing about my country. That moment hit him harder than every rejection he had ever faced. This wasn't about Jack anymore. This was about something much bigger. He tried another word. Beer. Results appeared. American beer, German beer, Japanese beer. But again, China? Nothing. Jack laughed nervously. But inside, something powerful awakened. For the first time, he saw a future nobody in China could imagine. A future where a teacher could connect millions. A future where buyers and sellers could meet online. A future where geography didn't matter, only vision did. This, Jack thought, is what I've been preparing myself for. I have. The stranger's advice echoed again. Learn things before the world needs them. And Jack realized, the internet is what the world will need. That night, he couldn't sleep. A single question kept repeating in his mind. What if I bring the internet to China? A crazy thought, an impossible thought. But courage spoke louder than fear. Jack returned to China with nothing except a dream nobody understood. He gathered 3 friends in his tiny apartment and said, I've seen the future, and the future is online. His friends were confused. Online? What does that even mean? Jack, you're dreaming too big again. Jack, nobody needs this. Jack smiled. Maybe not today, he said, but tomorrow they will. He had no money, no equipment, no support. So he borrowed everything, money, electronics, trust. With those borrowed pieces, he built something small. Not Alibaba, not a billion-dollar company, not a global giant. Just one simple website. It was basic. It was tiny. It was imperfect. But beginnings don't need to be perfect. They just need to begin. When China Pages went online, Jack Ma became the first person to put Chinese businesses on the internet, a rejected teacher, building the digital future of a nation. And he didn't even know that his greatest creation, Alibaba, was waiting for him in the very next chapter.